Hello, learners. I'm Professor Ramesh Kaur. I welcome you to this webinar series on transforming teaching learning process using ICT tools. I thank the organizing team, Dr. K.K. Srivastav, Ms. Sikha, Sunita, Dr. Suchi, under the leadership of Dr. Mukesh Agrawal, for organizing this wonderful webinar and inviting me to speak in this webinar on enhancing quality teaching, learning, and research using open educational resources. I'm currently working as a Dean and Head Kalanidhi Division, Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, which is a body of Ministry of Culture. Under that, I'm responsible for smooth conduct of 8 PG diploma courses and 7 certificate courses, and 4 are online certificate courses. So let's talk about this topic, open educational resources. We are in a digital world, in a knowledge-based society where internet play a very significant role, and everything is open and transparent. And when we talk about open educational resources, we have a lot of terminologies: open source software, open contents, open access resources, open educational resources, open knowledge, open data. So we are in this kind of world where open is very common. But here we mean what we mean by open educational resources. So this OER, we call it properly OER, are digital materials that can be reused for teaching, learning, research, and more, made available free through open licenses in an online mode. Most of these materials can be reused and can be utilized for any kind of purposes. And often all these OER contents are having Creative Commons license to make reuse. This term, open educational resources, was first time adopted at UNESCO in 2003 forum on the impact of open courseware for higher education in developing countries. So that's after that we call it OER. So what are the main principles of OER? As I mentioned, it contains Creative Commons license. Under that, we use share alike, and it is available for non-commercial and non-modified reuse. And the main principles of OER, you can make, on, and control a copy of the resource. You can use your original, revised, or remixed copy of the resource publicly. You can edit, adapt, and modify your copy of the resources. You can remix, combine your original or revised copy of the resources with other existing material to create something new. You can share copies of your original, revised, or remixed material or the resources with the others. So under these license, these contents are available. Basically, when we talk about open educational resources, you need to understand the word educational. No education, no academic or research activity is possible without learning resources. And library is one of the most important word or resource for teaching and learning and research. But now we are in a technology society, and internet has become a very big tool. So now we have a lot of options. We are not just having resources in the libraries, but we also have resources over the internet to support our teaching and learning activities. So in this open means it facilitates collaboration. You can collaborate, it accelerates discovery. You can search where the resources are available. And access is increased for education. You can have anytime, anywhere access for internet. It also exchange the knowledge between one and all, and it enhance lifelong learning. And it definitely help in reproducibility. You can use it for different purposes all these educational resources. So the first course which was comes under open educational resources was started by MIT under Open Course Bear. That was in 2001, and after that we have been seeing a big revolution in the field of open educational resources. Like we have there are different types of material under open educational resources. Sometimes there is a complete course on open educational resources. There is some part of that course is available under open educational resources. Some modules are available under open educational resources. There's some kind of videos available, some kind of audios available, some kind of text available, books, lecture, course modules, and data sets, and various kind of real-time data is also available under open educational resources. So on the internet, there is a different types of material and different sources of open educational resources out there. So let's try to understand what are the advantages of this open educational resources. See, during this corona, you have to visit library to access the physical material, or if you have to go to any commercial site, you need to pay for it. You need to have a license. So those who are not having subscription to many important databases, those who are not in position to visit the library, or they are not part of the library, they really feel very deprived of good educational resources. Keeping that in mind, these invent of these open educational resource takes place. So basically, these are it basically enhance use of ICT in teaching and learning. Basically, it is also possible to reach out even remote areas, rural areas, or in the developing or underdeveloped countries, or in the places. So because it is free, it is available on internet without any license or without any restriction. So it can reach to anybody, and it is free, so open to anyone. It is free, affordable to anyone, and a student can try the course before sign up. There is a flexible timing. You don't have to be restricted. You can read it anywhere, anytime, and you can do on your own. Lot of value addition to that, available from anywhere and not restricted by the particular school or university or college. And it provides a lot of study material, and it is not covered under intellectual property rights, so it is available free for reuse. So there are a lot of advantages of such resources. Now, but there are certain challenges in this open educational resources, because you have to understand the licenses. There are different kind of licenses for different open educational resources. Every resource may be accessible free, but may not be available for reuse or adaptation. So you have to understand the various kind of copyright licenses. You have to also, like many people still believe that now they don't want to read online. So we need to change those mindset, and we also need internet connectivity, good internet bandwidth, because if you don't have good internet connectivity, and you also need a device, either laptop or mobile or iPad or some good connectivity. You also need to understand some teaching learning tools, how to browse, how to search, and there are certain costs involved in all these issues. So you need, and there are a number of social issues. You have to understand yourself. Sometimes there is no support available, what in case of library staff, or in case of teacher in teaching class. And there are certain legal issues. You have to take care of the copyright laws and other legal issues in this regard. So what are the components of open educational resources? First is the technology and tools, like you need a computer and software and internet connectivity, etc. And then also you have to see that what you want images, you want to use video tutorials or videos. There are certain kind of course purely designed. Some are just part of the syllabus, some are just audio form, some are in video form, some are just infographics. Ebooks are available, e-journals are available, open access journals are available, open text is available, and sometimes whole course is also available under that is called MOOCs. So what is this MOOCs? MOOCs is basically massive open online courses. Basically, it's available for anybody to rule. Generally, these are free, but in certain cases, some fees also charged. And these are provided an affordable and flexible way to learn new skills and advance your career and deliver quality educational experiences. In this difference between open educational resources and MOOC is that here you will get a degree also. Here OER you are using for any kind of course, your offline course, online course, but MOOC is especially that you are getting a degree or diploma or certificate in this. So online courses without formal entry requirement on a participation limit. You need not to go to any college or university. And that include interaction, feedback, and assessment. Or everything is online. Exam is online. Assessment is online. Everything is done online in this MOOC courses. So there is a basic difference between OER, MOOC. Resources available on MOOC are also OER, but OER is itself is a course. If you compare other related terms, open access is everything available in on the internet, which is free, accessible to anybody. But doesn't mean that all open access resources are educational resources. There are different kind of resources which are open access but not educational resources, because it may not be in scholarly in nature. Open educational resources are strictly educational content that is shared under an open license. Open courseware sharing open content that is developed specifically to particular course. E-learning electronic instructional resources that are not necessarily openly licensed. There are a lot of e-learning resources. Commercial journals are also e-learning resources, but they may not be available free. So I hope you will be able to understand the difference between that. In this regard, after I think last few years, Ministry of HRD under this National Mission on Educational through Information and Communication Technology, NMECIT, has undertaken a number of efforts in creation of online courses, online resources. So this project, which was started in 2009, has done wonderful programs. It has started a national program of technology enhanced learning. There are a number of virtual labs. There is a lot of other courses, ebooks, journals, and ebooks and journals provided in analysts through InflipNet. So there are a number of good Indian National Administrative National OER repository has been created. ABU, Amrita Virtual Interactive E-Learning World, eGyan course. The NCERT has provided all the books, and there are NPTEL and Sakshat and even NDLI and other digital libraries are also been open. So this Sakshat, an official website of NMEICT, provides update on National Mission on Education activities. It provides different kind of uploads and updates on various programs and other things. I would like to give you some glimpses. This is a website which you can go, and this is the platform education. So SWAYAM is the one of the most important platform where number of courses are available. Number of online courses are available in various fields. So you can go to this website. Then there are a number of free open source softwares are also available on this Forces platform. Then Swayam Prava is a free educational TV channel provided by MHRD, where starting from school to the university, all kind of lectures are being delivered on this Swayam Prava. Then ePathshala is basically all kind of ebooks of NCERT have been uploaded. So if you school kid want to know about that, they can do that. Then there is another program of NCERT's textbook PDF. All NCERT books are online, so you can know that. Similarly, there is a initiative for school education, Diksha. Online course material for open schooling is also available on NIOS under NIOS Open Educational Repository. Apart from that, InflipNet Center has created a digital repository of electronic theses and dissertations. So you can make use of all the theses of various university. More than 2 lakh thesis, full text theses are available from the 343 contributing universities. Then this NPTEL is one of the very successful program. It has 1,000 plus courses, 20,000 video hours, and 4.5 million people have already viewed it anywhere, anytime. This is an initiative by 7 IITs in the beginning, and some more IITs have joined it. It is accessible worldwide, and it has number of good English language content, video lectures, specialized in engineering, but in many other subjects. So you should make use of it. There is this national OER repository is there. You may like to go to this national OER repository, so see the different kind of course contents available on this and any OER. Then National Digital Library of India is one of the very big initiative by IIT Kharagpur. Under that, currently over 70 lakhs items are available, and it is free. You can just create your account, and you can access all those 70 lakhs resources in all areas. It's starting from college to the post graduation to the PhD. It has a number of good, like South Asia Archive. It has a World Digital Library. It is connected with the institutional repository of various universities and institutions. Apart from that, there are a number of this Amrita e-learning initiative, Data Portal of India. All government data is available there. Then there is a lot of international research data repositories. OpenDUR is very good research repository. Then there are a number of institutional repository created by different institutions. You can click on that and you can make use of these repositories. Then there is a number of other open access repositories. If you go worldwide, internationally there are a number of research repositories. It may be China, Japan, France, UK, Africa, USA. Everywhere, a lot of OER repository has been included. MIT was the first to start. Now Open University is having very good initiative, Open Learning Initiative of CMU, eGyankos of IGNOU in India, United Nations University, and there is a number of other collections. I will never recommend you to make use of Wikipedia, but for some information you can access, but I don't recommend Wikipedia and Wiki University for this kind of. Internet Archive is one of the very important and very useful resources. Knowledge Hub is very good. And apart from that, YouTube provide a lot of contents, free contents to you. And every country, to get the government data of various countries, data.gov websites have been open. So you, like, so I've given you some of the example, but if you search, every country is having this data.gov to provide the government data, like Ministry of Commerce or Planning Commission and other things. There is a Directive Open Access Journal, which is having thousands of 15,043 journals available, and more than 51 lakhs articles are available on this Directive Open Access Journal. It is free. You need not to register anything. Then there are different kind of access repository. There is an open textbook library. There is a RE3 data repository. There is a OER in Africa. There is a Paris Tech. This provides a lot of information on different aspects. There's a Commonwealth Learning. This organization is promoting open educational resources all over the world. It has India branch also. So if you go to that side, you will find a lot of link to the various kind of OER repositories. There is a OER Commons, which provide you digital library of open educational resources. You can make use of it. Then there is a Marlot, which also have online learning and support materials and contents creation tools by the international educators. Open Education Consortium is also having a lot of resources. So I think these are some of the glimpses of open educational resources. But best thing is you go to Google Scholar and other search engines and search yourself. So with this, I think I'm able to give you some idea about all those repositories. This is my email ID. For any further information, you can contact me. I would like to tell you, without learning resources, you cannot do any academic or research activities. We live in a world where internet has become very crucial, but at the same time, be very careful. Everything on internet is not trustworthy. So only look for tested and well-tested open educational repositories. With these words, I want to thank you, and I will be happy to take up any questions during question answer session or during the webinar. And also, I would like to contact you. You can contact me on internet and uh, other resources. Thank you very much. I look forward to your. Uh, I hope that you will find it useful, and I look forward to your further comments on that. Thank you very much.